The boxer Canelo Alvarez is ready to fight Terence Crawford, but only if the price is right. He respects Crawford's skills and is open to the fight, even though Crawford is 3 weight classes smaller. "I've fought bigger and smaller guys, older and younger ones," Canelo said. "I'm ready for anyone in the end, but only on my own terms. At this stage of my career, I want big fights, but they have to help me." Why not? The money is good. Turki al-Sheikh, chairman of Saudi Arabia's General Entertainment Authority, announced plans for the possible fight, which could happen in the US in December or January. "I am trying to get Canelo on board," he said. "But this is also a big fight for Crawford. We'll go over the facts with him." People asked Crawford at the Canelo MIA fight if he would fight Canelo next. What did he say? "Most certainly."
What fight, Hi Bub? What you thought about that fight?
It was a good fight. McGill showed his heart, determination. He just wasn't stepping in. Canelo kind of looked like he carried him, though.
What do you think about that fight in terms of you fighting Canelo? Did you see opportunities for yourself?
Most definitely.
What kind?
A lot. You had to see the fight, but Canelo did good. McGill did good. It was a good fight.
All right, Terence, man, you're the best. Yo, appreciate you, bud.
You gonna record me too?
Terence Crawford is currently the best pound-for-pound fighter and at the peak of his career. He's made it clear that he wants a fight with Canelo Alvarez, going for the biggest payday of his life. Having recently moved up to 154 lbs, Crawford is now set to face WBA champion Israel Madrimov on August 3rd in Los Angeles, another show organized by Turki al-Sheikh. This move suggests he may be ready to climb up to 168 lbs to take on Canelo. Now that the fight seems possible, experts are weighing in on what could happen if these two greats meet. Errol Spence Jr., who previously fought Crawford, shared his own thoughts, saying, "If Terence wants to prove his greatness, let him. I don't know who wins, but I'd definitely go with Crawford."
I mean, why not? If Crawford wanna challenge himself to be great, let him try to be great, you know. So, you know what I'm saying, I'm with it. So, you know, I'll be going for Bud, you know, if he fight Canelo.
You got Crawford over Bud? I mean, you got Crawford over Canelo? Sorry.
I'll be going for him. I'll be going for him. I mean, I don't know if he's gonna win or lose, but I definitely be going Crawford, I think. If anybody can pull it off, he can put it off.
Yeah. You know,
Eddie Hearn outlined why Canelo is hesitant about fighting Crawford. According to Hearn, Canelo thinks he wouldn't get much recognition for beating Crawford because of the weight difference. However, Eddie personally thinks Canelo's power would be too much for Terence to handle.
On his behalf, because I don't represent him, I don't think he's overly interested in the Terence Crawford fight, because I think he'll be thinking, I'm not going to get any credit for beating Terence Crawford. He's a 147-pounder who's just moved to 154. You're asking him to move up to 168 and fight a guy that's going to massively outsize him. And also,
Crawford's training partner, 3-weight world champion Shakur Stevenson, thinks Terence has the power to hurt Canelo and could win if they fought. Stevenson said, "I've been around Crawford for years, and I believe his boxing IQ is higher than Canelo's. I've seen him hurt huge guys in the gym, making them fall. People say Bud can't hurt Canelo, but I don't agree. In my opinion, Crawford is the better boxer, stronger than people think, and I believe he can beat Canelo." Commentator Tim Bradley also likes Crawford in this matchup. He compared it to Floyd Mayweather's 2013 win over Canelo, saying, "Crawford has the skills to outbox him. Look at Jermell Charlo. He went up from 154 and just survived. But Crawford is different. He's a real pound-for-pound star. He wants this fight, and I think he'll perform well." On the other hand, Carlos Adames, who has sparred with Crawford, thinks Terence should avoid this fight for now. He warned, "Canelo hits incredibly hard, and this could be a dangerous move for Terence's career."
Pues ella que subir 3 divisiones bastante libre, demasiada, yo diría. Pienso que no es algo que él lo necesita ahora mismo. Crawford en su carrera ha demostrado que es un buen peleador, pero pienso que no tiene que estar corriendo esos grandes riesgos, porque no solamente pone su carrera en riesgo, también pone su vida, porque un golpe de Canelo le puede hacer daño de por vida.
I don't think Crawford needs the Canelo fight right now. I think it's kind of needless for Crawford because his reputation is well cemented, and a punch by Canelo could not only be dangerous for him to lose the fight, but it could be dangerous for his life. So no need for Crawford to cross the line into such a heavy weight class.
Gracias, campeón.
Thank you.
Say Benavidez, who recently lost to Crawford, shared his thoughts, saying, Terence is an incredible, undefeated pound-for-pound fighter. He's smart, and in fighting, anything is possible. It all comes down to how you use your mind.
Beautiful. You know, Crawford's a good fighter. He's a good fighter. He's a smart fighter. He's undefeated, right? He's beat the best of the best. So, I mean, I feel like he'll beat him. I mean, if everyone puts their mind to it and they train how they're supposed to train, which I know he is, I mean, anything's possible because Crawford is, I mean, Canelo's not bigger than him. I mean, weight-wise he is, but height-wise they're about the same height. So, I mean, boxing, anything's possible. That's how you choose your mind.
Sparring. Partner Corone Davis, who has trained with both fighters, thinks size will play a major role in this fight. While he acknowledges Crawford's talent, he pointed out that Canelo has both skill and size, giving him a big advantage. Davis said, I've been in the ring with both. I helped Crawford prepare for Sean Porter, so I know how good he is. But Canelo is just bigger, and that makes it tough for Crawford to win. Size alone doesn't win fights, but when you mix it with skill, it's hard to beat. If I had to bet, I'd put my money on Canelo. Both are great, but Canelo's size gives him an edge. Davis also mentioned that Crawford might struggle to hurt Canelo, who has taken heavy shots, even at light heavyweight. He added, for Crawford to win, he'd have to fight a flawless fight. Size will be a factor. Canelo's punches at 168
will have more effect than Crawford's. It's not impossible for Crawford, but it will be extremely difficult.
Crawford, he can't do anything. There's no... If Terence Crawford told me, I'm going to become a light heavyweight and I'm going to fight David Benavidez, I would say Terence knows better than I do what he can do. I mean, does it make any sense? No, it doesn't make any logical sense. So at the end of the day, we can speculate all we want about what he can do or what he should do, but nobody's going to decide this other than Terence Crawford. He is willful, he is stubborn, he is self-possessed, he is possessed of enormous self-belief. He is as confident as any person I've ever met. If I tell Terence Crawford, you can't drive your Ferrari from this intersection to the next one, he's going to get into the Ferrari and prove to me that I'm wrong. So I look forward to seeing whether Terence can prove everybody wrong about what he can or should do. And I also look forward to finding out whether Canelo...
Alexander Osk is sure that his friend Terence Crawford can beat Canelo Alvarez. Osk said, Terence is smart and different. I like him. He's my friend, but he's also a wild man. I say Terence wins. He's unique. He fights in both southpaw and orthodox and knows how to control distance and space. When asked about the weight difference, Osk admitted, Canelo is big and he's a great fighter, but I still believe Terence can box like a bigger guy. On the other hand, pro boxer Amir Khan told Crawford not to take the fight. He added, both are amazing fighters, but I've faced them both, and Canelo knocked me out when I was at my best. Canelo is just too strong for Crawford. Terence is a great technician. He makes you miss and counters well, but when I fought him, I wasn't in my prime. Against Canelo, I was at my peak and doing well, until he hit that one big...
Two weight classes in... What's the name being a... You know, I mean, that... I think he could still have some problems with Crawford, but still that weight is something to deal with. And you can't just say that because of Crawford's skills, he can automatically go up to 168 pounds and be the guy that's been doing this for a long time and also been one of the best fighters in the world for a long time. So that's a big jump.
Bernard Hopkins has voiced concerns about Terence Crawford's plan to take on Canelo Alvarez. He questioned whether this fight is truly in Crawford's best interest, wondering what real gain it
his life. And with that fight, what do that fight do for Canelo fighting Crawford, and Crawford beats Canelo? what do that do for Canelo? I just think that there are so many other fights to make that's realistic, it makes sense, and less life-risking.
Hopkins further shared his doubts about Crawford wanting a fight with Canelo. He said, "I have serious concerns about this. It's a risky move, and I question the reasoning behind it. As someone who knows the toll boxing takes, I worry about Crawford's well-being against someone like Canelo. What does he really gain from this? There are plenty of big fights that don't carry this amount of danger." Meanwhile, Teddy Atlas thinks Crawford has a special ability to slow down time in the ring. He added, "Crawford sees things others don't. He processes fights differently. That's what makes his timing special. Because of that, I can't count him out." Boxing coach Virgil Hunter finds the unpredictability of this fight interesting. He said, "This fight is interesting because either guy can win. That's what makes it exciting for fans. Some believe Crawford will win, others think Canelo has the edge. Usually the bigger guy wins and Canelo has the size, but someone is..."
What are the differences between them?
Canelo's strong and he's easily hit. Very easily hit, very easily. Compared to when I fought against Crawford, I couldn't even hit. Clean. So really, that's the difference. And they both hit hard.
While fans are eager for a Crawford versus Canelo showdown, another highly requested fight is Canelo versus David Benavidez. Benavidez has been calling Canelo out for years and is generally seen as one of the toughest challengers in Canelo's division. After Canelo's win over Munguia this past weekend, many fans are hoping this fight happens next. However, reports say Canelo...
More respectful instead of like talking trash. Would that help a little bit in making the fight instead of like saying like buy buy something?
200 million.
200 million still? It's still 200 million?
David Benavidez is losing patience with the situation and thinks Canelo should just admit that he doesn't want...
Corner now where he's running out of excuses. He said that the only thing I bring is 25 extra pounds and I'm not worth nothing, but he's asking 200 million and now he's gonna fight me in the same night. This shit's just stupid, bro. Like, you just tell the people you don't want to fight you.
You think his hunger is dissipating?
I don't know. I can't talk to you about what his hunger is or how his training is or how he feels. I can only speak to you about myself, but for me, it looks like fear. It looks like fear, like he's scared of me.
David Benavidez pointed out that many fighters want to face Canelo because of the huge payday involved. He even joked that athletes like Naoya Inoue might consider going up in weight just to get a shot at him. Talking about Crawford, Benavidez acknowledged his ability but emphasized the size difference. He said, "Crawford is incredibly skilled, but he has to be realistic when facing much bigger opponents. Just look at the Charlo versus Canelo fight. Size matters." Crawford would deal with the same issue. David also accused Canelo...
Canelo does, that's on him. I mean, I feel like if he was the baddest, he'd say I'm talking so much. Why don't you come shut me up? That's really, if you prove that you're the best and you are the best, what does it cost you getting a $65 million check and showing somebody up that you're better than him? You know what I mean? If he doesn't want to fight me, he doesn't want to shut me up, it's for a reason. You know, he knows what's up. You know what I mean? And I am the best. You know, all the other guys he's fought is weak. They all have no power. That's why he doesn't want to fight me. I'm the bigger guy. I throw more shots. And I've been here for a long, long time.
Stephen A. Smith isn't a fan of the idea of Canelo fighting. Terence Crawford, citing the size gap as a big problem for Crawford. Instead, he thinks Canelo should fight David Benavidez, who he considers the best at 168 pounds. Smith said, "I don't like this matchup. Crawford is the best pound-for-pound fighter, and Canelo is also one of the best, but Canelo fights at 168, he's much bigger." As boxing fans, what we really want is for the current super middleweight champ to meet the top contender, David Benavidez. Benavidez gets his shot. He's proven himself, and it doesn't sit right that Canelo is picking someone 3 weight classes below instead of fighting him.
Benavidez is a monster. He throws. Benavidez throws literally an average of above 50 to 55 punches a round. Canelo, Charlo, in the first round, they threw 1 punch combined. I'm not talking to you as, oh, I hate Canelo. Oh, I hate Benavidez. I'm talking about a boxing expert. Those are the facts. That's reality on paper. Now, what happens in the ring and the bell rings, I don't know. If Canelo lands that one bomb that he always throws, the right hand, I mean, it's sayonara. It's game over for Benavidez. But I think Benavidez, because he's young, because he's strong, because he's very versatile and throws a lot of punches, it's going to create problems for Canelo.
Floyd Mayweather also thinks Canelo should face David Benavidez instead of Terence Crawford. He said, "If it were up to me, I'd want Benavidez to fight Canelo. It's time for Canelo to stop cherry-picking and take on a real task. Benavidez is hungry, and if Canelo truly wants to cement his reputation, he needs to fight him. I respect Canelo's successes, but avoiding Benavidez raises questions about whether he's really willing to face the toughest competition." Meanwhile, Claressa Shields had a different view, saying she believes Terence Crawford is the only fighter right now who can beat Canelo Alvarez. Interview 14. Oscar De La Hoya and Canelo Alvarez had some heated times in the lead-up to...
All the credit in the world for even thinking about possibly fighting Canelo, but if that fight ever takes place, I have Crawford 1,000%. And people are going to say, oh, well, you're contradicting yourself. I kind of am, but Crawford is also a big guy.
Yeah.
Crawford is a big guy who can handle a Canelo because they're the same size. Crawford is a guy who punches hard, but he doesn't rely on his power. He relies on his footwork. He relies on his speed, on his change-ups. He relies on his combinations. He relies on his mind. And I believe that Crawford is a way better boxer than Canelo.
Robert Garcia thinks Canelo Alvarez might not be eager to give David Benavidez a shot, even though he has the power to make it happen. That said, Garcia would love to see the two boxing stars face off, as it could be...
I really think that Benavidez is going to stay at 175 because I don't think him versus Canelo is going to happen. I think there's already been so much talk, so much saying back and forth to a point where Canelo is going to say, why? I just don't want to give it to him. Canelo has that power. He doesn't need the fight against Benavidez. To us, I would love to see the...
Garcia thinks Benavidez has what it takes to beat Canelo, but warns against underestimating a boxer of Canelo's caliber. He said, "Canelo is so talented that he could win this fight. Personally, I feel Benavidez has the tools to beat him, but I could be wrong." However, Garcia rejected the idea that Canelo is scared of Benavidez, saying, "Canelo has fought everyone. I don't think he's afraid. He's just proud. He doesn't feel the need to please people constantly wanting this fight. He doesn't owe Benavidez or his father anything, especially after all the things they've said about him. If he takes this fight, he'll earn a lot of respect, but at the end of the day, it's his choice." Meanwhile, Rio Valenzuela thinks that if Canelo fights Crawford...
He keeps saying, the money's right, so I think the money will be right, eventually. It depends which route Canelo goes, though. It sounds like Terence Crawford, the Saudis want to make that fight happen, so if he fights Crawford, then I think it'll be less likely he'll fight Benavidez. But, yeah, hopefully David gets it. I think he deserves it. He's been the best for the men.
When asked who has the edge in a potential fight between Canelo Alvarez and David Benavidez, Rio Valenzuela didn't hesitate. He said, "Canelo is an elite fighter, no doubt, but David is too fast and too hungry right now. I think David beats Canelo. He's got the speed, the drive, and the energy. Canelo is a legend, a true Mexican fighter, but watching him fight today, I believe David wins." Mike Tyson, a big fan of Benavidez, is also sure that he would beat Canelo if they fought. In fact, Tyson even thinks Benavidez could take down Dimitri Bivol, the same man who handed Canelo a loss. He added, "Benavidez is my guy. I think he can beat anyone in the division. I love Canelo, but he's not at his peak anymore. I even think David could beat Bivol." On the other hand, Jim Lampley admires Benavidez's talent but thinks Canelo's legacy is in a different league. He said, Benavidez is exciting, no doubt, but we're talking about Canelo Alvarez, a man with 70 fights under his belt. I think Benavidez is a great puncher? Absolutely. But can he beat Canelo? That's a whole different question. Canelo has rarely even been hurt in the ring. Lampley also rejected the idea that Canelo is dodging Benavidez. Why would Canelo avoid Benavidez when he fought Gennady?
The bigger one.
Yes.
David, very good.
You ever sparred him?
Yeah.
By the way.
No, listen, I spar him. He's a very skilled fighter. He has ability to absorbing punches. Very good. I think he would be a very good opponent for Canelo. He's the only guy who I think might beat.
David Benavidez is taking a bold and unconventional method to land a fight with Canelo Alvarez. Instead of waiting for negotiations, he went straight to Saudi boxing powerhouse Turki Al-Sheikh through social media, pushing him to make the historic showdown happen. Benavidez even made a dramatic offer. If he loses, he'll give his entire fight purse to charity. He passionately declared, "This will be the biggest Mexican versus Mexican-American fight in boxing history. And what better place to host it than the Kingdom, where the whole world can watch? This fight is about pride and heritage. I fight for greatness. Not money. Your Excellency, if I don't defeat Canelo, I'll donate every dollar I earn to a children's charity of your choice. And when I do win, I'll give a major part of my earnings to fight childhood hunger worldwide. I'm a fighter for the people and will always step up against the best. I stand by my words." Despite his heartfelt plea, Turki Al-Sheikh seems to have a different view. He's pushing for a Benavidez versus Alexander Gvozdyk clash, with the winner getting a shot at Dmitry Bivol. Bivol, the reigning WBA and IBO light heavyweight champion.
Couple of sparrings, it was good sparrings for me, for him, I think. And maybe in the future, yeah, we could fight to each other because he can move up, yeah. And if he moves up, of course, he will be my opponent.
David Benavidez also shared his thoughts on those sparring sessions, saying he held his own against the current champ. Looking ahead, he revealed plans to eventually step up to the heavyweight division, showing his hunger for even greater challenge.
You were younger. I was 22. From seeing what I did to him in those sparring sessions, I'm very confident I'd win. But I'm not gonna, be a fool and just use confidence as the 100% fuel. I'm gonna go in there and work extremely hard.
You're looking to go up to 175 pounds and potentially get the winner out of Badarev and Bivol.
That's why I want to be a part of these big fights too, because as you know, both you guys know, once you get a really good fighter in front of you, the training camp is different. The mentality is different. And when you get in that ring, you shine. That's what I want for myself. I want to be put in them hard positions where you have to use 100% of your skills. And that's why I feel like the best will come out of me. So I'm not scared of it. So whatever it is, even if light heavyweight isn't my final destination, I really want to go up to cruiserweight.
Ooh, so that's cruiserweight, just another, you're a weight class away from going to actual heavyweight.
Yeah. But we're going to move one step at a time. We got light heavyweight. That's a division I've been wanting to go to for a long, long time.
So, what are your thoughts? Should Canelo Alvarez face Terence Crawford next? Or is it time for David Benavidez to get his shot? Share your views in the comments area below. And if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and explore more of our content on screen now.